Good afternoon, abnormals, and welcome back to the Ministry of Abnormality YouTube live broadcast. I am your host, O Abnormal, and today is Friday, June 16 of 2023. Welcome back to my show. I see Mao in the chat room. I see the Pew. Hello, Pew. And hello, Mao. How is everybody? Welcome, welcome. It's Friday. The week is over, or at least for those people that kind of function that way. We don't. So the week is really not even close to over. But here we are. Welcome back. So, what are we doing today? Well, today is Art Challenge Friday, but I'm a little behind on work. So, what we're doing today is I'm going to be working on what I have to work on, and I have extended that challenge to the rest of you. Because today I'm going to be working on something that is a let's say it's a common fantasy setting, and it is a sewer. Today I'm going to be working on a sewer. So today's art challenge is a sewer. Now, you may take this challenge. Now remember, the art challenge is open to anybody and everybody, all skill levels, all techniques, except AI. We do not accept AI here. Yuki, for example. Hello, Yuki. Do you wanna come a little bit on cam? Yuki, for example. Well, you can see her tail. Okay. Yes. So no AI. Now, as I was saying, I've already made one of these sewers. Today, I'm going to be working on another one. And you will get to see something a little different because I have made a 3D base for this sewer. And what's going on? Did we lose internet? No. We're back. We're back. We're back. I thought that I think my internet had a little bit of a hiccup there for a second. Okay. So as I was saying, if you want to participate in today's art challenge, I will show whatever you make at the end of the stream. And of course, you don't have to make scenery. You can also make a character. I will actually be making both. Now, let's see how today's work goes, because my morning was actually two things. I was finishing this image that I was working on Tuesday. So I finished this image. And hello, Yuki. Hello. Okay. And then I spent... Okay, Yuki. And then I spent most of my morning doing that. Wait, let me grab... Where are the other... Ah, here we go. Here are the exports for today's stream. So you're going to see a little bit of how I work when I've done an image in 3D and then bring it in to work with. Okay, there we go. Okay, Ma. See you in a moment. Let's go with... I'm gonna go with this version. Okay, let's get started. Might as well get started. Okay. So here we go. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to determine the perspective for this. So, oh, and also make sure I got a good size. So let's increase this to 300 and make it... I'll go with 8,000 wide. Hello, Felix, and hello, Sabrina. I missed you, Sabrina. How was your move? We saw you last time. Also, Felix, that's awesome. I'm excited to see what you'll do. Sabrina, tell us about your move. Although that sounds like Sabrina, tell us about your next move. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. How is it going? Are you all set up? How was the trip? Oh, but are you there? Like in the city you're supposed to be? Ah, okay. Okay. Oh, Sabrina, are you on Discord? I wanted to ask your opinion on something, and I actually wanted to have it resolved by the end of the stream. So I was wondering if I could send you something through Discord, like now. Okay, wait. I'm gonna send you something on Discord. Let's see, where are you? Where are you? Where? Ah, here you are. There we go. Okay, so back to work. Now we got our perspective, and well, now we just kind of start painting. What else are we gonna do but start painting? Okay, so we do have a version of this with burnt whisker. Nat Class, hello. How are you, Nat Class? How's your Friday going? Well, so this morning I was working on this render so I could, work on it this afternoon. I spoke with the guys over at EldritchWerks to make sure they were okay with me streaming EldritchWerks. See, some companies just make it difficult for me to talk about them. Then, okay, so here's the thing. Now, I've told you guys before about my destructive butt, right? Or do you guys not know about my destructive butt? Like, have I told you guys about my butt, the destroyer? Okay. Something is wrong or right, I don't know, it depends on how you look at it, with my butt. My butt will destroy pants, will destroy chairs, will destroy underwear. Like right now I have to buy pants and underwear, and well, it destroyed my chair. So because it destroyed my chair, I bought another chair, this chair that I'm on, a gamer chair, right? Which eventually, so the other chair that I had, the huge executive chair that did massages, I gave it to Pew, and I bought this gamer chair for myself. But then what happened was that Pew was getting back pains from that chair. So I took the chair back and lied to Pew for about what, a month? For about a month, telling her that it was fine. Eventually, anyway, I had to face the fact that that chair was, gonna destroy us both and our relationship. So we bought a new chair for Pew. I got back my gamer chair, which I discovered that I actually don't need a super expensive gamer chair because these little armrests I don't use them. I always keep them up so I can push the chair in under the desk. So anyway, we got Pew's new chair. But Pew wasn't here today. The chair arrived yesterday, but Pew wasn't here. Because she was adopting... Okay, wait. If I say this, it's going to sound like we adopted a dog. Okay, so... As a photographer... Okay. So Pew is a pet photographer, right? Most of those photos are of dogs. Because dogs are kind of like the most photogenic. So, Pew works sometimes with shelters for dogs. She does charity work with them, where she goes and she takes photos of the dogs at the shelter to help those dogs get homes a lot easier. Well, last week she went to a shelter to take photos of adult dogs, which I believe are a lot more difficult to get homes for. Like, it's a lot easier to get homes for the puppies than it is to get homes for the adults. So last week she went and took photos of like 6 or 7 adult dogs that needed a home. Well, it seems that she did her job so well that her sister fell in love with one of the dogs and decided that she wanted to adopt it. Now, what does this have to do with the chairs? Well, the chair I was using, the big executive chair, was like, the way my butt destroyed it is that my butt peeled all the, well, it was fake leather, admittedly, but all the fake leather, my butt peeled it off. So our house, and it still is, as I'm looking at it right now, it's like just filled with little black pieces of the chair. And yesterday, Pew's chair arrived, but Pew wasn't here because she had gone with her sister to pick up the new dog, whose name is Canelone. Canelone. She does have photos of it. Very, very cute dog. Big dog. Big dog. So, I decided it would be a nice surprise if when Pew arrived today, that she arrived at noon, I would have the chair built for her. So as soon as I was done rendering these images, I decided, okay, it is time to build Pew's chair. And thus began 2 hours of suffering. And you can't see it on the camera, but my finger is destroyed. Because these chairs, they come with... Oh no, they can't come with just screws. They have to come with hexagonal screws, which are screwed in with this little thing. Oh my god. It is torture because like there's not enough space to do it putting in the short side and doing it on the wide side. There's not enough space. So you have to put it this way and basically use your thumb. It just destroys thumbs. Thing is, Pew arrives at noon and what she like she comes in and what she finds is like me in a terrible mood struggling with that chair. So we had to continue trying to build it, and it took us like another hour to finally get to build it. But now my hand is like, I swear, like I blistered my fingers. It's not like. I destroyed my fingers. And that's about it. That's about what I got for today. My chair's the same, but they came with a Allen wrench that had a large fancy handle. Oh wow. The thing is, they come with like, I have like 6 of these. like since they come with anything that you buy that uses this, so they got like, there's like Allen wrenches all over the house, but they're all that same kind of teeny tiny break your fingers Allen wrenches. But Pew is in her new chair, and it's and it's nice. She says it's nice. It better be, if I have to learn to live without my thumb. She's gonna have to make me a prosthetic gold thumb. You realize how difficult it's gonna be to wipe my ass with that? Yes, the drama. I'm glad you noticed. So, what about you guys? How's your weeks? Tell me about your weeks. How are they ending? What did you do? What's going on? It's super hot today? I don't know. I'm not feeling it as hot as other days. It's hot, but not, I don't know. I've had worse. Perhaps this area that we live in is finally paying off. You know, so high up in the mountain. You feel like you failed the challenge? Why? Because you missed a couple of days? Hmm. Well, Okay, I should have audio again, and let's see if the camera... No, the camera is still... No. Okay, let me... Uh-huh. Okay, so we're back here. And now for the... Wait, are you guys getting... Hello? Okay, we should have good audio now. Let me just put in a noise filter. Okay, we have noise suppression, and I'll put in... no, noise suppression should be good enough. Apparently, NVIDIA Broadcast is having some problems, so... what are you gonna do? We're just gonna have to have a stream where... Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Apparently NVIDIA Broadcast is having some issues with, I don't know, life, I guess. So it had to be shut down. I have to put it down. Anyway. So that's... Okay. Okay. So, my week. My week. Wait, give me a sec. That didn't change anything. That did not change anything. Okay. Might have to... We have to put some color on this. Then on this one. Then on this one. Oops. So, my week has been... my week has been honestly insane. Basically, I've been overloading myself with work. But okay, no, that sounds like... Wait, the fan is not on me. So I've been overloading myself with work, and the reason isn't really like it's not a reasonable thing. I just it's just that in the middle of the year, when there's no classes at the university, I kind of tend to try and compensate by working a lot with other things. And so yeah, so I'm kind of like a little bit overloaded with work. But I was editing the YouTube video the other night, but I had a problem because I'm not super experienced with the editing software, which in this case is After Effects. So what happened was the other night I sat down to edit the video, and it just ended up being like an hour of me trying to figure out a problem in After Effects. But on the other hand, that is good because, you know, learning how to edit videos is part of, you know, getting better at uploading stuff to YouTube. So there is that. So, you know, the video is getting slowly closer to being done. Little by little. What else can I tell you about my week? What else can I say about the week? But like in the kind of life that we live, days and weeks are just so weird. Like yeah, I don't really feel like the week was a week necessarily. It was, you know, I was here. We yeah, we worked. Let's see. Yesterday, oh yeah. So yesterday, Pew went to kind of get that doggy, and so I stayed here, all day, in solitude, finishing the image that I was working on Wednesday. And then there's the other stuff that I'm working on that I can't tell you guys about. And what else did I do this week? Well, but that was today. I took my motorcycle into the shop for maintenance today, and it turned out like it turned out being super expensive. I wasn't expecting that. Do I have any bad movie reviews? No, and not that I think it's a bad movie, but we wanted to go watch Spider-Man, but we didn't go because yeah, we didn't go because we had a lot of work and it was too late, right? It was gonna be too late, so we didn't go. Oh, okay. Something we have been doing a lot this week is a couple of times. I don't remember. Okay, we have been going out for bike rides because since Pew has a new electric bicycle, we've kind of been going out for bike rides so that she can start getting used to traffic and stuff like that, right? So that she can ride it. Hello, Famine. How are you? How are things going? How are things going in the Pilgrim world? Well, in the bladed Pilgrim world, but still. It's electric assisted, but those things don't work the way we thought they did. Yes, Net Class. So our options were either an electric bicycle with assisted pedaling, or a scooter. Um, so we decided for the bicycle because, first of all, scooters cost like twice as much. The scooters, but yeah, a scooter. So anyway, so the bicycle is supposed to be assisted pedaling, but that does not work how I thought it was gonna work, because when it says assisted pedaling, I thought that it was gonna be that you have to pedal and the bike helps you out with the work. But what it really feels like is like you just have to move your legs. And the bicycle just, like, as long as you're moving your legs, the bicycle, like, first of all, those things go way faster than we thought. Like, you could go up to 75 kilometers per hour on one of those things, which is insane. Like, I would never go 75 kilometers per hour on a bicycle. Like I don't do that on my bike. Like, that is absolutely insane speed. Second, that thing, like, that will go up the hill like nobody's business. We live like practically at the top of the mountain here, and that thing will just climb the mountain. That thing will just climb the mountain like nobody's business. It is really quite an amazing piece of machinery. I'm very into it. Group with friends past weekend, get together, supplied some of my books as drawing prizes for attending. Oh, that's nice. Which books did you give away? So yeah, but the funny thing about those bike rides is that I don't have an electric bicycle. Pew does. So like when we're going uphill, it's like Pew's just like zooming away, and I'm just like, well, might as well get a workout out of it. But it has made me want, though. Like, the whole thing has made me want one. And while I do love our motorcycle, if I ever if I ever have to, for some reason, sell it or something, I think I'll get myself an electric bicycle, because they are really cool, and they're so much fun. Two each of Widow Brigade, Apprentice Storm Mage, Pilgrims with Blades. Nice. Well, Widow Brigade is still one of my favorite covers I've ever done. Although the last one with Orgusk is definitely one of my new favorites. I really like the way that one turned out. Ah, thank you, Sabrina. I'm kind of feeling like I should have made the bricks in 3D, but I like this sort of more randomized, kind of more organic feel that they get painting them this way. So yeah, I'm liking this method. Let's see if maybe I can do that with a brush instead of doing that by hand. Let's see what I got. Otherwise, I'll make one. Oh, let's go with the triangle brush. That one is always good for that. Wait, let's give this a little bit of brush projection. That should, yes. That should make it nice and pointy. And what we'll do is we will lock those in. Maybe I'm not getting... Then let's see if this is gonna work. We'll go underneath with another layer. Okay, you know what? We're gonna have to save this with the brush projection. So I'm gonna have to create a new one. Okay. Triangle. Projected triangle. Okay, go to settings. There we go. There we go. Let's see if this works. Okay, it's giving me a nice read from afar. And well, this is meant to be afar, so... And then if I just grab that and paint a little bit of specific leaves on it, that should work. Let's see if it does. Give me a second. Somebody's at the door. I'll be right back. And we're back. And, well, last Mother's Day, they brought Pew a gift from the administration of the residential unit, unaware that Pew's not a mother. And today they brought me a Father's Day gift from the administration of the unit. It's a pair of cookies. I'm pretty sure they know I'm not a father. Do you want one of these cookies, Pia?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one do you want? Do you want the one with the mustache? Or the one that says...
No,
Okay, I have the mustache one. Okay, let's see if they're good cookies. Here, have this so you can put the crumbs in it. Okay. Fondant. With one of those printable papers on it. Not very good, but yes, it's very nice of them. Well, I mean, not to be ungrateful, but fondant is really not good. Pew taught me that. But the thing is, with my sweet tooth, I'll eat fondant. I don't care as long as it's sweet. Yeah, with my sweet tooth, I don't care if it's good or not. It's a cookie. It is sweet. It is edible. Get in my belly. Is there a cookie type I don't like? No, not really. I love all cookies. A wafer is not a cookie. A wafer is not a cookie. You would think a pastry chef would know that a wafer is not a cookie. And I don't even dislike wafers. Wafers are fine. Wafers are good, but they are not cookies. What are wafers? They're wafers. A wafer is a wafer. A wafer's not a cookie. It's a wafer. That's like me saying like a car is not a truck, or an airplane is not a boat, and then you going, then what's an airplane? Well, it's an airplane. It's an airplane. Like a car is a car, an airplane is an airplane, a cookie is a cookie, and a wafer is a wafer. Very disappointed in you, Pew. I expect this kind of crap from Mao. Not knowing the difference between a cookie and a wafer. But from you! And I like him. I like him. Wafers are not bad. I'm not sure we can go with the internet being right on everything, Mao. Time for me to render test my materials in Blender. 2040 edit samples, not so many. This to not be so pixelated, time to wait 20 minutes for it. Look at that sad image you just linked, Mal. It looks like medicine. Looks like a medicinal wafer.
Jay.
You know, according to the internet, Mao, Star Wars is being sold to a Middle Eastern oil tycoon. So I guess that's, you know, that's a undeniable truth as well then by your rationale. Which, by the way, that is the current rumor. Why would anybody go on the internet and tell lies? I can't think of any reason, really. This is not a very good cookie, though.
I know.
Hmm?
I took off the fondant.
You took off the fondant? I don't like the way this looks. I'm gonna erase it. the thing is with British food is that it's very annoying to talk with the British about food. And I'm not shy about this. I'll say it to Cat's face. But it's very annoying to talk with the British about food because the British always act like they have the final word when it comes to food. So, for example, biscuits, right? So, we have biscuits, for example, and the British will always go like, biscuits are what we would call cookies, and you're wrong. And it's the same with everything. Like one thing, for example, that I hate about the British, and I wish Kat were here so I could say it to her face. Have you guys ever noticed how snobbish the British are when it comes to chocolate? Like it's very, very specific. But they really, really act like nowhere else in the world do people even know what good chocolate is. But, you know. Oh, yeah, they are super... I wish Nightcow was here. Nightcow is not here. Nightcow is British. But then again, he's not... You know, he's not English, so... You have no idea if you've had good chocolate or not? I do. I've had chocolate, and I liked it. Therefore, good chocolate. Exactly. Exactly. If it tastes good, then what do I care if it's not Cadbury? Me, I prefer my chocolate dark. Like my soul. Chocolate and orange juice is a great combo? I'm sure, dude, whatever works for him. So what I'm doing here is we're gonna see how much of this is gonna be hit by the light. Let's just do that. Then we're gonna bring it in with a little bit. We're gonna blur it a lot. Like so. Then we're going to do that. Then we're going to so one very, very... Oh, damn. One very common mistake that people make when drawing god rays, which is what this is called. These are called god rays. So one very, very common mistake that people make when painting god rays is that you don't just see light. Light needs to bounce off something for you to see it. So when you're doing god rays, there has to be something in the air for you to see the god rays. Otherwise, you're not going to see them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab this. We're going to do that. We're going to make it... I'm going to go with screen. But wait, let's... Okay, so light has to bounce off of something and hit your eye for you to see it. You don't just see light because it's in the air. So if you have something like god rays, there has to be something in the air for you to see the god rays. Now, normally we can be talking about dust, particles in the air, fog, mist, like Sabrina says. But if there's nothing in the air, then you're not going to see a ray of light. Now, the thing is, when you're in the places where you would normally get a god ray, like a cave, a sewer, or stuff like that, well, you're going to have plenty of that in the air. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab and we're going to make here separate a cloud. So I'm just going to... No, this cloud is not going to be orange. I'm just making it orange so I can see what I'm doing. Then we're gonna stretch this out. Like so. Then but it's not gonna be that color, Mao, but it is supposed to be stinky, though. I mean, rats live here. Then again, I suppose rats live in every sewer, so... Now let's see if this works. Okay. I think I want a bit more particles in the air, though. Okay, now we're gonna go with... I do have a fog version of this. So we're gonna use this one. Top of this one. Lighten mode. Put that there. Let's bring it in. Is this the... No, where's the god rays? Okay, here's the god rays. Wait, why are you... Okay. There we go. Gonna have to fix some stuff over there. But... this should give me... a nice little bit of light there. And then what I'm gonna want... oh, okay. Okay. Here we go. I'm just going to polish this up here. There we go. So who's participating in today's art challenge? If I'm deducing correctly from our conversations earlier, everybody's so tired that I'm guessing everybody's just waiting for the week to be over and that's it. Wait, when did that happen? The challenge is to do a sewer. Sure, it's what I have to do for work, but I thought, well, you know, let's all work on sewers together. For those of you that didn't want to do scenery, it could also be just doing a character that lives in the sewer. So if this works out the way I need it to do those plants that I was trying to do before, I won't actually need to paint the plants. All I need to do is paint the light hitting them. And it should give the impression that I'm looking for. I guess we'll see in a sec. What's everybody's plan for this weekend? What you guys got going on? Take it easy. let's see if this is gonna work. So what we'll do is we'll put in like that solid color and just maybe a little bit like that. And then we put a little bit on these. Then a little bit. Okay, I might have to put it. What if I put it in color dodge mode? Would that be? What's my plan for the weekend? I'm gonna have a freelance weekend. So, ain't no rest for the wicked. I am pretty much scheduled for a pretty intense weekend, to be honest. I also have to pick up the pace because I have some plans for July. There's some stuff I want to do in July, and so I have to make sure that I that I can afford it and stuff. If that makes any sense. Sorry if I'm being vague. I just want to make sure it's definitive before I say anything about it. It's not a job. I don't see no reason not to tell you guys. I'm planning to take well, as you all know, I like studying at least once a year. I had thought about not studying this year because of the bad experience I had studying last year. But I found a course that I would like to take. I'll show it to you guys as soon as I define it, as soon as it's a reality. But if I do enroll in it, it would be in July. That actually means that maybe if I enroll in it, I might not be able to stream on Tuesdays in July because I'd be taking those classes on Tuesday. That would be for a couple of months. So, like I said, still nothing definitive. So don't let's not jump to any conclusions yet, but there we go. So anyway, in order to do that, well, first of all, I'll have to work a little bit less because that's basically, you know, I'll have my weekly assignments and that is kind of like basically having another job. And second, you know, all those things cost money. So. And what happens if I put you underneath? Huh. I think I like you better the way you look underneath. Okay. So anyway, but I mean, whatever. This weekend I can't take a break. Besides, I think I'm not gonna have a motorcycle this weekend, so we are probably we might take a bike ride if Pete wants to on Sunday. Oh right, you what, sorry? Sunday morning you have to take photos? Okay. Pew has a photo shoot this weekend with a cat. Besides, I also want to get ready because there's some really cool games coming out next month. And they're all coming to Game Pass. So it's going to be cool. Life of Pi is coming to Game Pass. And I'm really looking forward to that one. There's another game, I forgot its name, but it's a climbing game. And, well, I love climbing, so I'm looking forward to that one. I forgot its name, but it's basically a game where you're a rock climber. It's like a kind of fantasy setting and stuff like that, but it's about climbing. I'm looking forward to that game. City Skylines 2 is also coming to Xbox Game Pass, which is great because I always buy those games and then realize that I suck at them, so it always ends up being wasted money. So it's great that it's coming to Game Pass. I can try it out and then realize that I still suck at those games, but not waste money. That's great value. Because in the end, that's really most of what I do with Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass with me is mostly me seeing, ooh, they have that game that I wanted, but I haven't bought yet. And then I try it, and I go, ooh, I'm glad I didn't buy that. That's it. Well, it's not for free. You know, Xbox Game Pass is not free. But it is a subscription, and it's one of those subscriptions where I really think it, you know, you get your value from it. I believe so. No, I would say it's subscription sucking. Okay, now we're getting a look that I like. Okay, wait. Feels so weird to have the complete webcam on me. I don't know. NVIDIA broadcast is nifty, but it seems to be very unstable. One of the lessons I learned with the YouTube video that I'm editing right now, the keypad review, is I was editing it and I realized that the video, like, every now and then kind of glitches out. And it took me a while to figure out that that was actually just the recording from NVIDIA broadcast. So as cool as it may be, it still needs some work, in my opinion. Editing could be fun if it wasn't so time consuming. I agree. Because I actually enjoy editing a lot, but it's the same reason I enjoy 3D and stuff like that. It's because, it gives you kind of like it's like a nice break from what I normally do. Not that I don't like what I normally do, but it's nice to kind of change a little bit every now and then what it is that you do. So I like it that way. It's kind of like a nice, relaxing break. I honestly would not see myself doing it like permanently. Like editing is what I do. Still, it's a good skill to have. Like if ever, if ever I would need to have like some other alternative of work, editing videos is definitely a good skill to have in your arsenal. Dude, that's a great idea for a YouTube video. Wait, let me write it down. Here we go. Let me write that idea down. Okay, Darth Vader. Okay, Darth Vader fell. Where's my marker? What are you up to, Pew? No. The idea for the video is other skills that are good to have. Right, extra skills that complement you. Okay. So, for example, for the past few semesters, I've been telling my students, hey, learn 3D. And right now, honestly, if there's a skill that I would tell any artist, like, hey, it's a great idea to learn this other skill. It's going to complement your art. It's going to help you improve. It's going to open new doors and stuff like that. Learn 3D. Learn 3D. Not necessarily with the intention of becoming a 3D artist. That is, that's a whole kind of other thing. But right now, honestly, I think learning 3D is one of the most useful skills. Any 2D artist. Of course, we're talking about 2D artists here, right? So I think that right now, any 2D artist would, it's a great idea for 2D artists to learn 3D. Again, not to be 3D artists, but to use 3D to help them be better 2D artists. Yeah, that would be one of my main recommendations and skills that you would want to learn. But now that we're here, okay, so the idea is this: skills that you should learn, not to stop being a 2D artist, but skills that you should learn as a 2D artist that will help you be a better 2D artist, but are not directly like the classical things that you learn as a 2D artist. I think I'm like saying this in the most convoluted way possible. For example, you know, we're not talking about learn perspective, learn lighting, learn like anatomy. No. Stuff like learn 3D. Not to be a 3D artist, it will make you a better 2D artist. What other skills do you guys think I could put in that video? Am I asking you guys to make my video for me? Maybe. But what other skills do you guys think would help in that quest, in that ever-growing quest to be a better 2D artist? What can you think of? Oh, I do like how this is looking. This is looking fine. Time remaining, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Learn how to talk and approach clients and write emails. Make a terms of service file. Learn how to use programs like Trello, Slack. Yeah, yes, I agree. But you just made me remember one. One that I would gladly... Okay, I know this is the graphic designer in me coming out, but I know, for example, I would predict that Nat class would be in agreement with me on this one. And I would predict that Mao would also agree, but probably reluctantly and groan. If I could force all 2D artists to take lessons in font and typography, I would. I think there's nothing sadder. Sadder? Is that okay? There's nothing more sad. There's nothing sadder than good 2D art ruined by bad font and typography management. It's just it's just it is so. But you know the basics, Mao. You're a graphic designer. Even if we don't like admitting it, you're a graphic designer. You know the basics. You have. And the thing about font management and all that is that it is such an easy skill to learn because, okay, if you want to be like a creative font genius, then yeah, that's That's not gonna be everybody. But if you just want to like learn to not make it worse, it's really, really simple to learn. It's just a few rules and stuff like that that you gotta learn. You know, not to do this, when to do that, that kind of stuff. It's just, and oh, it is such a bummer when you see, like, not to stereotype, but for example, that is something that Japanese, anime, manga, and stuff like that screws up so often. But I get it because we probably do it the same in the other direction, right? Like when we put like Asian fonts and stuff like that in our stuff, we probably screw it up and do it really poorly. But it also works the other way around. One of the things that makes me laugh the most is Persona 5. Everybody's always talking about how Persona 5 has like great design and font management, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I am a contrarian, but no, it doesn't. Persona 5 is horrible with its fonts. Like the way Persona 5 handles its fonts and typography is just, it's really bad. Question. At the moment, all I can think of that requires good typography is graphic design work. What's an example of a job that wouldn't be graphic design, that would need good typography? You mean in 2D art, or... Yeah, you probably mean in 2D art, right? Okay, cover work. If you're a cover artist, you better know how to handle your fonts. And while we're there, you could probably use a lot of you could probably use some good lettering classes if you're going to do cover art. Well, no, but I get what you mean, but the thing is, a 2D artist will frequently find themselves using graphic design in their work. So for example, posters, covers, comic book lettering, which would include also webcomics with lettering. All those things are graphic design, but it's graphic design that's going to take place a lot in yes, yeah, Mao, that's a great example. Like, if there's going to be any kind of font or any kind of usage of graphic design in the fictional world that you're kind of dealing with, well, better be good. What I'm saying is that a 2D artist should have basic graphic design education, specifically typography. Well, I wouldn't say specifically typography. There's a lot of other things that I would add to that. For example, basic. Well, actually, not even basic. I would go with advanced editorial design and layout is something that I think all 2D artists should learn. Yeah, basic editorial and layout design is something all 2D artists should learn. Illustrators like me should all learn the basics of editorial work and design, especially because it's a lot of what we do with our clients, right? So like we work a lot with clients that are going to be doing layout and stuff like that, and it's always important to know what it is that they're going to be doing and what it is that they're going to need, right? So another advice you gave to me was to study the basics of photography. Photography is great when it comes to lighting, composition, all that kind of stuff is stuff that photographers learn very, very well. So yeah, I highly recommend photography in that regard. What else? What else? I do think video editing is, for example, if you're a comic artist, you should definitely learn. Um, if you're a comic artist, you should absolutely learn basic cinematic storytelling, um, and storyboarding. I think that's essential. I would make that mandatory for all comic artists. I hope though a few weeks ago how you should light glass. Yes. Yeah, it was wait, I can even show you guys. So, wait. I'll show you guys because well, I think it's interesting. And I'm the boss. Wait, let me find it first. That would be here in the mongoose. Here in the mongoose. Okay. I have Live 2D on my list of things to learn. So basically what I was doing is I was doing this scene for mongoose, right? And all of these containers are actual glass, right? I mean, not actual glass, it's 3D glass, but if you look at them, they're all, you know, glass. You can see the liquid inside, all that kind of stuff. So one of the major dilemmas with this thing was how to lay out the lights in a way that would make the glass look the best, right, in the scene. So, because Pew's a photographer and she knows a lot about product photography because that's one of her areas. As you can see, the camera is... Wait, the camera is right there. There's the camera. So there is an area soft light here. There is this here, this big square here, is a giant soft light in the background. And this light here is a point light. But if you look here on the right of the point light, this is just a white panel meant to bounce the light off in that direction. And so thanks to that layout, you get these very, very interesting lights on the sides of the bottles, making them look more like glass. If you set up the light another way, the bottles might not look like glass at all. And if you look here in the background, we have like this infinite canvas right there. So yeah, this was kind of like a lighting setup that Pew. So yeah, I agree on Life 2D. I actually have it on my list of things to learn. My problem with Live 2D at the moment is time. You know? Like that thing takes time to learn. But I do want to learn it. I even have it installed and everything. There's other things that would be very, very important for a 2D artist to learn, but it depends a lot on what they're working on. For example, if you're working in video games, it is very, very, very good practice for a 2D artist to learn the engine in which the video game is being developed in. So, you know, if If it's getting made in Unity, it's a good idea to learn some Unity. If it's getting made in Unreal, it's a good idea to learn Unreal. Or whatever they're doing. But I would say that in general, it's a good idea for a 2D artist to learn either Unreal or Unity. Right now, I would actually recommend Unreal over Unity. Not because, well, I wouldn't say it's better. It's more powerful, that's for sure. But Unreal has done a lot of stuff to make itself more user-friendly. So and it's just so easy to install Unreal. Like, you go to the Epic Game Store and you install it from there, and well, you also get free games every week. This week was was it free this week? I don't remember, but they were good this week. I already had them, but they were good. Yes, both guacamoles. Both guacamole, actually. Both guacamoles are free this month on Epic Game Store. And those games are awesome. I've played both of them all the way through. And if you guys knew how difficult it is for me to finish a game, you would know that if I say that I finished that game all the way through, that is high praise from me, because I normally do not finish games all the way through. But Guacamelee, they are great. Also, asset packs free each month. What are we doing tonight, Pew? Okay. No, I do want to take a break tonight, especially if I'm going to work all weekend. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, this is looking nice. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's looking cool. You know, the way the light is hitting the rocks and all that kind of stuff. I'm liking it. Just gonna extend that up a little bit. Okay. Well, it's because it's easy for cultists to hide in the sewers. But you should never trust cultists that hide in the sewers. Sewer cultists are not to be trusted. That's a little bit of wisdom here. Let's duplicate this. Close that. Do this. Put it... Wait, in normal? Actually, it looks nice in normal. Huh. Color dodge, screen, or normal? I like the color that color dodge gives, so let's go with that. And let's see. You watched the new Asterix and Obelix movie some days ago. Because of that, I started to rewatch the old movies and animations. When I was a kid, in high school, like there was a bunch of my classmates that were just so into Asterix and Obelix. The comics, I mean, never really managed to kind of get into it. I was surprised to see like an Asterix and Obelix movie come out. American Psycho and Django Unchained. I agree with American Psycho, definitely. That is an absolutely great movie. Oh, I do kind of remember it now, but don't remember what platform it was. I thought it was on Super Nintendo. You? Uh, Carlos is asking if we want to go to dinner tomorrow night. Okay. Okay. Ah, so it was Super Nintendo. Great. My favorite console of all time, Super Nintendo. That one in Neo Geo. Although I never had a Neo Geo. But when I first got into emulation, uh, Neo Geo was like my favorite um, console to emulate. And well, when I was a teenager, it was all about the arcades, right? Like arcades were still a thing when I was a teenager, and so I love Neo Geo because it's all those games. Well, it's not all of them, but it's a lot of those games that basically were the hit at the arcades that I would go to as a teenager. So, the King of Fighters, which I know Mao is into as well. I love the King of Fighters. I've played all of them. Although my favorite Neo Geo fighting game is The Last Blade 2. I think that one is amazing. I also loved a lot Garu, Mark of the Wolves. But lately, I've been checking out a lot of emulation on. Well, I don't know how you pronounce it in English. Well, Mame or Mame. I don't know. Oh, Metal Slug was awesome. That one is. Wait, is that one on Neo Geo? Because I have Metal Slug both on the Neo Geo emulator and on the Mame or Mame emulator. I still don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. If anybody knows, I'd appreciate the insight. There's another fighting game on Neo Geo that I love. It's called Waku Waku 7. Okay, Mame or Mame is an emulator for arcades in general. So the Neo Geo emulator obviously emulates only Neo Geo games. I'm guessing you use Neo Rage. That's the one I use. But the Mame emulator emulates arcades in general. The downside is that it's a little bit more complicated to set up and get working. Not tremendously complicated, but a little bit more complicated to get set up and working. But with it, you can have pretty much all the games that you played at the arcade, you know, in the 90s and maybe even the early 2000s, but mostly the 90s. So, for example, one of the ones that I've enjoyed lately was Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct 2 and Killer Instinct 1. Of course, we're talking about the arcade versions. Another one that you don't get on Neo Geo is the X-Men fighting games. So X-Men Children of the Atom, Street Fighter versus X-Men, Marvel versus Capcom, the 2D ones. So yeah, all those are on the but I mean, there's some brilliant games there. At the end, I still prefer Neo Geo, right? Like if I have to choose, but I don't have to choose, so whatever. But if I did have to choose, my choice would be Neo Geo. Absolutely love it. Close to here where we live, there was a store that had like a Neo Geo Mini, and oh, I was so tempted to buy it. But like with everything Neo Geo, it was incredibly overpriced. And it was basically like in the end I didn't buy it because, well, first of all, it was way too expensive. And second, because at the end of the day it was just like a little emulation machine. But it was so cool. It was like a little mini arcade machine, like a little arcade box about this big. And you could either play it like that, like, you know, at that size, or you could hook it up to your TV. So, considering how much it cost, that was when I said, yeah, you know, probably not worth it, but still, so cool. But yeah, Rise of Dragons, Waku Waku 7, Garou, Mark of the Wolves, all the King of Fighters. Those are, and Last Blade. Oh, Samurai Showdown. How can I forget Samurai Showdown? Samurai Showdown is so good. Of course, when it comes to emulation, you know, emulators, I think the ones I've used the most are the Neo Geo one and the Super Nintendo one. I played a lot of Super Nintendo as a teenager, but you know, getting the games here was prohibitively expensive. So in the end, even though I had a Super Nintendo, I ended up playing most of the Super Nintendo games that I played emulated. Uh, that would include, for example, one of my favorite games of all time, Chrono Trigger. I've never actually owned the Chrono Trigger cartridge. I would love to, since, you know, that game is just, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made, and definitely one of the games I've played. Well, I wouldn't say the most, because Chrono Trigger is actually not a very long game, but it's one of the games I've played the most times. But yeah, the first time I played Chrono Trigger was emulated. So, what about you guys? influential games. Okay, no. Here's a better one. Here's a better one. I'll give you an example and then you'll give me yours. Back when I was a kid, playing on the, the original NES, the Famicom. But no, mine was an NES, the NES. Well, for those of you that grew up in that era, you know how it was. You would get like maybe 1 or 2 games a year if you were lucky, and you didn't really question them. You just you played what you got, right? So there's a lot of games that as a kid I played and loved, and only as an adult, now that like we have so much access to games and stuff like that, do I find out that that game was supposed to be awful and horrible and nobody liked it. And well, back when I was a kid, that wasn't really an issue because, hey, it was what I had. It was what I got. So why, So when I was a kid on the Nintendo, I got Fester's Quest. And I could never even get past the first level. But it never occurred to me that I couldn't get past the first level because the game was no good. No, actually, I couldn't get past the second level. I did eventually get past the first level. It never occurred to me that it was because the game wasn't good. It was just, I suck. That's why I can't get past level 2 in Fester's Quest. Same thing with Bart versus the Space Mutants. I got Bart versus the Space Mutants. I don't remember who gave it to me, and I could never get past level 2. Both games have become kind of infamous for being some of the worst games for the Nintendo. And I loved them as a kid, but, exactly. When you're a kid, every single game you have is a treasure. It's like you have a game. That's it. You don't care, if you couldn't pass it, you didn't stop playing it. You just, the problem was you, not the game. So what about you guys? What game did you grow up with that later on in life you discovered that it is a hated game, but it has a special place in your heart because, that was the game that you had? So for me, Fester's Quest and Bart versus the Space Mutants. 2 games that are famous or infamous for being really bad. But, hey, those were the games I had. Fable 3? I only played Fable 1. Fable 3 is famous for being bad? It was the first Fable I played and loved it. I learned much later that everyone hates it in comparison to the other 2. Oh, okay. Did you see the trailer for the new Fable? It came out like today or yesterday or something like that. Did you see it? Yeah, there's a new trailer. Like seriously, like just today or yesterday. No, I think this week. Let's go with this week. Okay. If you will excuse me just a moment. I also had a fighting game on PC, a 3D fighting game. And it was called FX Fighter. And I loved it. I loved it because the designs for the game were made by Jim Lee. And the funny thing is that uh, when I look at it now, it honestly, and no disrespect to Mr. Lee, he is definitely a comic book legend. But when I look at FX Fighter now, I think to myself, oh my god, Mr. Lee, what were you thinking? That is some really bad design. But back then I loved it. It was a fight. It was a 3D fighting game on my computer that, by the way, barely worked. And it was designed and illustrated by Jim Lee. It was like a treasure to me. It actually ended up being a pretty interesting game, like in terms of its history and how it came to be. And I only found out recently that like the game was called FX Fighter because it was originally supposed to be on the Super Nintendo with the FX chip, but they eventually didn't do that, and it just kept the name. You had this PlayStation 1 game called Wild 9. What was it? Because then there's also the games that you knew and played and loved, but turns out that they were actually good. That they were actually tremendously high quality games. In my case, that would be, for example, Syndicate. I absolutely played Syndicate to no end, and turns out it's a really, really beloved game. The reviews for the trailer are not good, but I think it has a lot to do, and I have to agree. I don't agree that it's a reason to dislike what the game is going to be, because we don't know. We don't know if the game's going to be good or not. But a lot of people are complaining that the protagonist looks kind of weird, and I can't disagree that she does look kind of weird. I don't care that she's not like, you know, sexy vixen or anything like that. Yeah, whatever. She doesn't have to be like that, but she does like it's not a good character design. But I mean, you probably get to make your own character in that game anyway. And I don't know. I played Fable 1, and it seems that I missed out on a lot of Fable. I mean, I think it's not a good character design, but like you say, it's like, well, that's one little element out of the whole game. Besides, if we were gonna talk about like what game in visuals is just impeccably designed, well, that actually sounds like a very interesting game, huh? I think one of my favorite visually designed games that even makes me want to make a YouTube video out of it one day is Prince of Persia 2008, which I still maintain is one of the most beautiful games visually ever made. Why is that in that class? Is it because it kind of like takes you out of the game? Because, for example, I love Cyberpunk, but whenever I see Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk, I'm like, hey, Keanu Reeves. It's unavoidable. Like you just, you're playing Cyberpunk, having a good time, and suddenly, hey, Keanu Reeves, hello, Mr. Reeves. It also falls into the uncanny valley a little harder. Like, if I recognize the actor, more likely to recognize all the things they didn't get quite right. Oh, Mao, he is not just in the game. He is one of the main characters in the game. Okay. I'm not going to spoil the game for you in case you don't, like you plan to play it. But I can tell you this. After you get past the intro of the game, and you're like in the game proper and stuff like that, Keanu Reeves becomes your permanent companion. So I would say about 90% of the game is you with Keanu Reeves. Which of course is not called Keanu Reeves, but it's like Johnny Silverhand. I think it's his name. But yeah, about 90% of the game is with Keanu Reeves. And in the expansion, there's supposed to be Idris Elba, which is like, oh wow, that's definitely selling to me. I love Idris Elba. I feel differently when the cutscenes are live action, like Tim Curry in Command and Conquer, Red Alert 3. Oh, but that's like old, late 90s FMV, which is just so charming. I love it so much. There was a game from that time, from that era, that I absolutely loved that was called Crusader. It was Crusader No Remorse and Crusader No Regret. And it was this isometric shooter that had FMV cutscenes. Oh, it's just such a great time in gaming. The FMV era. Oh, it was just such a great, wonderful, wonky, weird time. Those FMV scenes. What was the movie? Oh, okay. So this week, Pew and I have been watching. Other than Game of Thrones, we've been rewatching Star Wars from the beginning. And so, over the past couple of weeks, we've watched episode 1, and we haven't finished episode 2. And, oh my god, if you guys have, like, the opportunity to watch it right now on a high def... Like, we don't even have a 4K television. Our TV is HD, it's not 4K. But, watching especially episode 1 Phantom Menace in HD, and the weird thing is, it's not that like I've seen it, but maybe it's the first time I've seen it like in super high quality. Maybe before I was watching like bootleg versions of it or whatever, I don't know. Thing is, the 3D in Phantom Menace, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to watch it. And I realize that it's weird that a Star Wars fanatic, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. You can barely see it, but this is like a very, very faded image of Emperor Palpatine. Like, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is one of my favorite things in life. But as a Star Wars fanatic, I've been watching like Phantom Menace. I watched it this week. And I never noticed just how bad the 3D looks right now. It is delicious. But it gets to the point, like, certain scenes, if you pause them, you will see some of the 3D elements. The textures are pixelated. Like, Like, you know, the textures that they put on the 3D are like muddy pixelated textures, um, because they're obviously not meant to be seen in high definition. So I don't even want to imagine how they look in 4K, but that must be just awesome. But like there was this one scene in Naboo where there's like a bunch of trees that they probably just put in there in 3D, and the leaves in the tree are like these little jaggy, like they have jaggies on all the edges, but the rest of the scene is high definition. So it's not like the whole thing is pixelated. It's just the leaves in the trees have jagged edges, but the rest of the scene is HD. It is just so fun to watch and notice those things. And the other thing is that a lot of the movie feels like you're watching an old FMV scene from like Command and Conquer or those kind of games. It just looks like you're watching an FMV from a late 90s video game. So good. So good. So much fun. Okay, I do like how this is looking. It's taking forever, but I like how this is looking. Yes, Felix. Well, technically 27 minutes remaining. But yes. Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Okay, let's see. Let's add some. Okay. Let's add a little bit of you. Okay. A little bit of occlusion here to make this rock stand out without having to make it shiny. Okay. You know what, Mao? You were right. It's very, very hot. What you buying, Pew? You're getting bell bottoms.
No.
Okay. Woo. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now, we're gonna need a little bit more darkness coming down from above. What are you? Oh no. Okay, what's wrong? What's wrong? Save. Where's Burnt Whiska? This character's name is Burnt Whiska. He's like a pyromaniac character. That's where he's gonna be. So this layer we're gonna put in darken mode. And I'm gonna bring down a little bit of this darkness from here. Yes, so as far as I understand, there's 7 rats in the package. I'm illustrating 3 of them. Dr. Stilton is the last one I made. Which is the leader. So she's like the leader of these rat beings. And then there's like some sort of named characters like Burnt Whiska, and the other one I have is called Knife Tail. So, but there's like another 7 rat people in this package. I really can't wait to see how they look like, not only in 3D, but once they're 3D printed. That's going to be very, very interesting. And you know, they all take place in the sewers. I left the sewer I want to do the most for last. After this one I have to make another one, but I left the one I want to do the most for last because, well, I normally do that anyway. You know, like leaving the thing I want to do the most for last. It's not like a strategy or anything. You know, I'm not here saying like, oh, you know, art hack, leave the best for last. No, I don't even think it works that well all that time. But I do tend to leave the stuff that I want to do the most for last. In any case, the scenery that I'm most into is Shantytown, and I love drawing shantytowns. You always eat the fries last. Pew has this thing where she eats food in like she's that kind of person that when she eats her food, she eats the different parts of the meal. Like for example, if you get rice, meat, salad, and soup, she won't just eat a little bit of each thing like you know normal people do. Like no, she eats the rice, then she eats the meat, then she eats the salad, then she eats the soup. The thing is, I used to tease her. I used to like make fun of her and tell her that she was a psychopath for doing that. And now I eat like that too. Now I eat that way too. Uh, well, I used to eat like a little bit of everything as I went, but you know, life with Pew has changed me. It hasn't rubbed off with video games though. She's the same way with video games. She will only play one video game at a time until she's done with it. And she recently finished, well, actually last Wednesday, she finished Horizon Forbidden West. So now she's looking for a new game to play. I think she's going to try Tomb Raider. Now that I'm not able to do. I have to jump from game to game and stuff like that until one of them grabs me, and then I play that one to the end. But that doesn't happen a lot. Okay. Okay. 15 minutes left. Let's see. Okay. Is anybody playing anything interesting, by the way, these days? Yeah, same here. Diablo 4, but didn't play that much in the past week. I tried out Zelda Tears of the Tears of the whatever. I tried it out. I thought it was my thing with Zelda is that I always feel like Zelda is overrated, but I always feel that Zelda is overrated, but not bad, right? Like Zelda, I don't think Zelda is a bad game by any means. I just don't think it's as good as its fanatics make it out to be, right? It's like I've never played a Zelda game that I didn't like, but I feel that maybe they are a little bit overhyped. As it is, though, Zelda does, and I was actually talking today about that Zelda has this quality to it that is when I'm playing Zelda, I'm always thinking, this doesn't look that amazing or anything like that, but then the hours just kind of melt away. Like, yeah, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are two games that I don't think are as good as people say they are, but at the same time, you just suddenly the day went by and so they do have that quality, and I suppose that speaks to the overall quality of the game. So there is that, right? So, for example, I played Breath of the Wild, and I finished Breath of the Wild. All the time thinking, this isn't as good as they say it is. But at the same time, very, having fun and enjoying the time that I spent in it. You were disappointed that you didn't see. Oh, wow, that is surprising. Like not even one link or. But now that you mention it in that class, is it me or did the craziness over this game last less than with Breath of the Wild? Because I remember when Breath of the Wild came out, it got to the point where I was like, oh my god, I enough with this game. Like, if anybody mentions Breath of the Wild again, I'm gonna shove it up their ass. And for that reason, I avoided Breath of the Wild for a very, very long time. But eventually I got to it. I was like, yeah, you know, it's good. I had fun, and the end. With Tears of the Kingdom, it was like, for a week, it was just Tears of the Kingdom forever. But I think it kind of calmed down sooner. Or am I the only one getting that impression? Or are we just getting over stuff sooner in today's world? That is a good point. Never really thought of it that way. It is very, very much a sequel, so... yeah, I can see that. I think that's a very, very good point, Necklace. Yeah. People are ruining Spider-Man for you right now. I've kind of avoided stuff concerning Spider-Man to this point, so I know I'm gonna watch it. But eventually, you know, I'll get to it. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm just not really in a hurry to watch a dubbed movie. So I'll watch it when, you know, when it's available in the language it was meant to be watched. I do like about this new Spider-Man and stuff like that. I do like that it's serving kind of as a way to show that, hey, there's other ways to do animation that are not necessarily Pixar, and I love that, because I am honestly sick of Pixar. I could very happily never watch a Pixar movie ever again in my life, and I'd be okay with that. And I'm very, very glad that there's new animation styles. Well, I wouldn't even say new, just different animation styles that are hitting hard, and I like that. I like that. Luis Salazar, I think Breath of the Wild was the first of its kind as far as an open world goes. No load screens except for shrines and such. Dude, I am very, very, very tempted to tell you, nuh-uh, but honestly, I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look it up. I'm very, very, very tempted to go like, no, it isn't. But that's just me being a contrarian. There is a part of me inside that's going, nuh-uh, but I think I'd have to look it up. I wouldn't really know. I do think, however, like I can say for sure that within the people that Zelda is like their main source of fantasy. Well, it is the first time that Zelda did that. Or is it? Isn't like, couldn't it be argued that maybe Wind Waker was kind of, oh, no? Would anybody argue that maybe Wind Waker was a little bit kind of open-ish? Or no? Hello, Get a Channel. Oh, wow, it's been a while. It's been a while, Get a Channel. Skyrim would do load screens when you would go into towns and when you would fast travel. And when you would go into caves and stuff like that, like dungeons and that kind of stuff. I don't think Skyrim had its loading screens in the open world. Puss in Boots animation was dope. I don't mind getting contradicted. Well, Puss in Boots wasn't Pixar. Puss in Boots was DreamWorks, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait. Wasn't Puss in Boots also done by Illumination? I think the last Puss in Boots was actually Illumination. I know Puss in Boots belongs to DreamWorks. But I think the last Puss in Boots movie was done by... Yeah, it was done by... Wait, no. Was it? Puss in Boots The Last Wish was... No, that was DreamWorks. It was DreamWorks. Wait, but it was DreamWorks, but animated by who? Nope, it was Illumination. Yeah, it was Illumination. Man, they are killing it lately. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I love that we are getting into this kind of like, yeah, you know, there's other stuff that isn't Pixar. Because once Pixar started doing sequels and stuff like that, they kind of lost me. I know it's a little bit early, but to me, like when they did... I know this is a long time ago, but when Pixar did Cars 2, I lost all respect for them. Yes, I know that was a long time ago. But it is what it is. I lost respect for them with Cars 2.